He is transported to a realm where humanity has been annihilated, and no one remembers him after humans lost a brutal war. Kai Sakura is sent to a parallel universe where humans lost to demons. There he meets a mysterious being, unsure if it's an angel or a demon. To his surprise, this mysterious being asks for his help. In his world, humanity fought an endless war against 4 enemy races, but in this new world, no one knows who he is. Flashback to a few days ago, Kai gets out of his vehicle to survey the crypt for exactly 300 seconds. His companions wait impatiently, because Kai always doesn't cut a single second short. Through his binoculars, he sees one of the conflict pillars caused by demons with immense magical power. Across the trench, angels and elves, considered half-human celestial beings, along with spirits and mythical beasts like dragons, wreak havoc on the battlefields. This widespread conflict, known as the Great War of the 5 Races, involves all these beings. Kai, a soldier of the Urza Federation, is determined to stop this war from starting again. He carefully watches the crypt where the demons were sealed. After 300 seconds of observation, the young soldier returns to the vehicle. Ashran remarks that no demon has escaped the seal in 100 years. Kai emphasizes that their job as the Human Protection Agency is to ensure it stays that way. Ashran points out that there are 4 crypts like this one around the world, and it doesn't help if they are the only ones taking this task seriously. Saki, the woman on the team, tries to calm him by saying everything is peaceful, but he refuses to let his guard down for even a moment. After their journey, they return to Vizel in the Urza Federation. During a training session, Kai and Ashran practices using a mythical beast combat dummy. The system warns him that it's very dangerous to fight such a strong opponent as a low-ranking soldier. Ignoring the warning, Kai attacks the mechanical beast's ankle, but causes no damage. As the dragon is about to swallow him, Saki turns off the robot and stops the training, worried that Kai will end up dead if he continues at this reckless pace. However, Kai believes he needs to push his limits to make the training worthwhile. Because of this and more, Saki thinks that Kai would have gone down in history if he had been born during the Great War of the 5 Races, like the Prophet Sid. Kai feels honored by the compliment but doesn't see himself as worthy of such praise. Despite the legend being highly regarded among humans, Saki cannot believe that a single man defeated 4 heroes. Vanessa, the Dark Empress of the demonic race, Alri, a Lord of Heaven of the Wild God race, Rikankilo, the Spirit Sovereign of the Spirit race, and Ratha, the Fang Emperor of the Phantom Beast race. Kai insists that Sid won the battle because of the shining sword given by the prophetic god Ashes Soraka. However, Saki points out that there are no photos or videos of the human hero, unlike the others, so she remains skeptical about his existence. She then pokes Ashran to wake him up and asks the guys what they want to do to celebrate Jin's promotion. Ashran suggests a bouquet of flowers, but Saki points out that Jin is being transferred to the royal capital of Zack at the age of 17, the youngest ever selected, so a few flowers won't be enough for such an achievement. Speaking of Jin, she sends a message inviting Kai to meet her the next morning at Terminal 9 in front of the cat's statue and asks him to keep it a secret from Saki and Ashran. The 2 friends start teasing him about this secret meeting, so he gets annoyed and says he's going for a run. The next day, Kai meets Jin because she will be transferred next week and doesn't want to miss seeing her friend before then. She thought he was on leave despite his uniform. He explains that he did his morning training and came straight over. She replies that Kai is the only guy who isn't afraid to go shopping with her, and that's what she likes about him. Jin plans to buy a gift for Saki and Ashran before heading to Zack, suspecting that all 3 of them are considering doing the same thing, as this will be their final meeting. Kai thinks she is exaggerating because she will return after 2 years of training in Vizel. However, Jin reminds him that by then, Saki and Ashran will have completed their military service and will return to civilian life. She believes only Kai will remain in Urza until then, and he agrees. Proud of his friend, Kai assures Jin that she will surpass even her father, the head of the Urza headquarters. This has been Jin's dream since childhood and has driven all her pursuits. As they continue their outing, they stop to grab a bite to eat, while Jin thinks about what to get for their friends. After deciding, she thanks Kai for his company. During their conversation, Jin recalls when Kai got lost in the demon crypt at 10 years old during an inspection with his father. When he got home that day, Kai said he saw Sid's sword. He vividly remembers falling into an absolute void surrounded by terrifying creatures until a shining sword illuminated the path and drew the young Kai to it. Despite the trauma, he never shared this story with anyone else, believing no one would believe him. Since that incident, he has felt a personal responsibility to ensure the demons never escape the crypt. Because of this mindset, Jin believes Kai will still be with the Human Protection Agency in 2 years. Jin then asks Kai what he thinks the future holds beyond those 2 years. Before Kai can respond, he witnesses the world around him disintegrating into a static distortion. Amidst this chaos, a system announces that global reincarnation has been activated. Kai is then transported to an alternate reality where the buildings in his city, Vissel, have been obliterated and replaced by a dark, war-torn environment. Above it all, a colossal demon emerges from the ruins and attacks him with magic. Managing to evade death without a moment to contemplate, Kai rushes to his rifle and fires at the demon's new spell with a modified elven bullet, neutralizing the spell and startling his adversary. Enraged, the creature charges at him again, requiring Kai to use his exceptional dodging skills. He overcomes the obstacles and strikes the demon with his bayonet, but its tough skin renders the blade ineffective. Kai then fires at the demon with a modified draconic bullet that mimics the breath of mythical beasts, causing a massive explosion in the target's body. Kai takes pride in executing the moves he trained to defeat a demon. Outraged, another evil entity appears, unable to believe a human had defeated one of its kind. Kai realizes this demon can speak human language remarkably well. The demon comments that the easiest way to control a slave is by communicating in their language, shocking Kai and making him realize he must be considered the scum of this world. The demon senses danger in Kai and prepares a lethal spell until Saki arrives and an Urzujin throws a flash grenade at the entity and rescues her friend. Kai calls out to Saki, but she doesn't understand how this stranger knows her name. Similarly, when Kai approaches Ashran, he too is puzzled by the boy's familiarity. Without understanding anything, Kai recalls that the three of them were part of the same unit at the Agency for the Protection of Humanity. However, Saki also doesn't recognize this agency because she is a soldier of the Resistance, the rebel human army. Increasingly perplexed, Kai inquires about what happened to this world. The girl explains that there was a prolonged conflict called the Great War of the Five Races and humanity was defeated over 30 years ago. Each city in the world was overrun by the enemy races, and since then, the surviving humans have been hiding as best they can. According to Ashran, the different races are still fighting over conquered lands, and the Euro Federation was taken over by demons, forcing everyone to flee. However, humans created a safe haven underground that remained intact after the war. Kai wonders how humanity lost the battle, and Saki explains that humans were no match for such powerful creatures. Each race had its own hero, unlike humans. Kai asks about the Prophet Sid, but neither soldier knows who that is. Kai claims that the Prophet defeated the other four races, but Ashran doubts this, believing that humans wouldn't be living underground if that was the case. As the three talk, the main troop of the underground city arrives. Some cities still resist, each with a garrison supervised by the main troop. According to Saki and Ashran, the commander of this troop and the resistance, named Jean, is seen as a savior by the people of the Urza Federation. Jean is an empathetic and charismatic leader, well respected by human civilization. Jean asks about the identity of the unknown soldier, and as his comrades explain, Kai is left speechless, realizing that even his closest friend doesn't know who he is. Unable to let it go, the boy shouts James' name, recalling that they were shopping just moments earlier. The commander, confused by this story, says he doesn't recognize this soldier, then turns away and heads to a scheduled meeting. Unsatisfied, Kai questions why his friend is pretending to be a man, knowing her dream as a daughter was always to surpass her father's career. Rina, one of the senior subordinates, grabs Kai by the wrist, but Jean asks her to let him go. After the commander leaves, Saki asks Kai what's on his mind, and Ashran offers his room for Kai to rest and collect his thoughts. At Ashran's home, Kai can't stop wondering why all this is happening to him. He reads the documents, but the only missing records are his and Sid's. Kai can't understand how, if Prophet Sid never existed, there are still the four crypts, a seal of four races. The next day, Kai asks his old friends about the crypts, but they know nothing about them. Determined to find answers, Kai borrows a car and promises to return by noon despite Saki's protests. Ashran tosses him the keys and Kai drives to the ruins of Vissel, heading to the crypt he used to monitor. As he approaches the entrance, he finds Prophet Sid's sword and picks it up. A voice from the sword declares that the bearer of this relic is now the code holder. The sword opens a gate, transporting Kai to a mysterious platform. Climbing the stairs, he finds a half-angel, half-demon girl chained up. Kai is having a hard time figuring out what race this girl is. Then the girl tells him her name is Rin and begs to be saved before passing out. Kai approaches her, debating whether to help because she looked like a demon. Against his better judgment, he decides to free her. He tries to use his sword to cut the chains, but they are too tough and show no signs of damage. He then tries using bullets, but even that doesn't work. Kai doesn't know what to do, but then he remembers he still has a special sword. He recalls its name and says Code Holder out loud. His gun sword transforms into the Golden Code Holder, the sword Sid used to save humanity in his timeline. He raises the sword and strikes the chains. For a moment, it looks like he destroyed the dimension, but things return to normal and the chains are cut. The girl is released and starts falling, so Kai catches her. When she opens her eyes, she gets startled and flies away, yelling for someone named Vanessa and demanding a rematch, saying it's unfair to send a weak demon to assassinate her. Before Kai can explain that he's not a demon, Rin starts attacking him because she hates demons. He dodges her first attack but can't avoid the second energy blast she sends his way. Kai starts to regret helping her, but as the blast approaches, he remembers the system saying that the code holder can sever fate itself. He uses the code holder to cut the magic ball in half, making the magic disappear. Both Kai and Rin are surprised since a demon couldn't block her attack. Kai tells Rin he's not a demon and doesn't know why she thought that, pointing out that he has no wings or tail, so he's clearly human. Realizing her mistake, Rin apologizes for attacking him but explains that she really hates demons and always attacks them on sight. Kai now knows she's not a demon, but he still doesn't know what race she is. When he asks her, Rin begs him not to ask about it. Kai agrees to drop the subject but has other questions, like where they are. Unfortunately, Rin has no idea either. She only remembers fighting Vanessa and then finding herself imprisoned. Kai recognizes Vanessa's name and asks if Rin is talking about the hero of demons. Rin confirms, and Kai is surprised she would fight a hero. He asks if she's really that strong. Rin proudly states she could wipe out an entire army of demons alone, but she's also impressed by Kai's ability to stop her attacks. She asks how he did it, and Kai is about to tell her about his sword when he notices a portal behind her. A hideous monster emerges and says something about the Fate Singularity entity awakening, posing a great threat to the new world, and announces it will commence protocol to remove it. The monster attempts to strike Rin, but Kai pulls her to safety at the last second. Realizing the monster is too powerful, Kai tells Rin they have no choice but to run, and she agrees. Grabbing her hand, they flee, but they don't know where the exit is. The monster, using the portal, grabs Rin with its tentacle and declares it has captured the Singularity. It begins the termination protocol, forming several orbs to erase Rin from existence. Kai can't bear to watch, so he takes action. Using the golden sword, he slices the monster's tentacle in half, also damaging the dimension. The monster notices Kai holding the forbidden sword and is puzzled about how a human got it. With Rin now free, Kai decides they shouldn't stick around to find out what the monster will do next. He grabs Rin and jumps through the dimensional hole, bringing them back to a graveyard on Earth. Kai is confused but glad they escaped in one piece. Rin is especially relieved as she feared she would die. She tells Kai that this is the first time anyone has cared enough to help her, since other races have always told her she's not one of them, with demons being the cruelest, calling her an abomination. This led to her fight with Vanessa. Kai comforts her, sharing that he knows how she feels because his friends no longer remember him, making him feel alone. He remembers a history where humans won the Great War of the 5 races, but in this world, demons occupy human cities. Rin is confused because she recalls humans starting to win the war and the demons complaining about a human hero. Kai excitedly asks if Rin remembers Sid, but she never met him and can't say for sure. Realizing he may have overreacted, Kai apologizes. However, he's glad they share the same past, confirming they are from the same world. Rin feels happy that Kai groups himself with her, as it's the first time anyone has done so. They leave the graveyard together. A little while later, Rin asks Kai what he plans to do now. Before he can answer, Rin collapses from exhaustion. Kai, worried it's from the earlier attack, helps her up and says he's going back to the city since he has nowhere else to go. He invites her to stay with him. Rin hesitates, saying she doesn't want to go to a human city because she can't trust other people. Kai is the only one she trusts because he saved her. He assures her he'll keep her safe and invites her again, saying she can leave if she feels uncomfortable. Rin finally agrees to go with him. Back in his room, Kai lies on his bed while Rin takes a shower. He's exhausted from the drive home. Rin had never been in a car before and freaked out the entire time, almost making him crash several times. Fortunately, she hit her wings so no one realized she's not human, though her odd behavior still drew attention. At one point, she tried to fight people with magic, and Kai had to hold her back, but he understands her caution since she's surrounded by strangers. Kai then focuses on his sword, realizing it had turned back to normal. He grabs it and is about to say code holder to see if it will transform again, but before he can, Rin runs out of the shower asking for help turning the shower off. Kai says he'll help but looks away since she's not wearing any clothes. After turning off the shower, Rin gets dressed and tells Kai that she thinks it's unfair how humans have all the good things. Despite the state of human society, they still have warm water for showers, while she had to bathe in a waterfall. Humans also have soft beds, unlike the destroyed surface where she lived. She realizes Kai wasn't joking about the city being occupied by demons. Kai, initially skeptical, now knows for sure that they are in a world where the Great Race War's outcome was altered. The correct history is where Sid became the hero of the humans, but in this reality, he never existed for some reason. Rin suggests that they escape this reality and return to their original world, which could solve their problem. However, Kai doesn't know if it's actually possible. They go to bed, but late into the night, Rin wakes up suddenly and warns Kai of strong magic, indicating a demon attack. The demons have torn through the city's ceiling and started a rampage. Kai already knew humanity was in trouble in this reality, but didn't realize how helpless they were against demons. With no hero like Sid to save them, Kai decides he needs to step up and take Sid's place for humanity's sake. The defense unit starts shooting at the demons, but they know the bullets won't do much. Seiki runs to get a machine gun, but before she can reach it, a demon sneaks up behind her and is about to cast a spell. Kai jumps in just in time to save her, knocking the demon down. He tells Saki to use water against the demons to make them too heavy to fly, and then hit them with grenades once they're on the ground. Kai then sees Ashran being turned to stone by a demon, so he fires an anti-magic bullet to stop the spell and save Ashran. Another demon tries to hold Kai down while a second one attacks, but Kai slips past and pushes the first demon away. Rin blasts the second demon. Kai thanks Rin and praises her strength, but he's unsure if they can save the city by themselves. Ashran and Saki run up to Kai, asking how he can destroy magic with bullets and fight demons with his fists. Kai explains that he comes from a world where humanity won the race war and his fighting skills and special bullets come from there. Saki and Ashran find it hard to believe Kei's story about an alternate timeline. Before Ashran and Saki can ask more questions, Ashran gets a message that 2 demon scouts managed to escape. If they report the location of the underground city to their leader, a whole army of demons will come and kill all the humans. Ashran says he needs to report this to the rebel army headquarters, and Saki asks Kai to join them since his strength makes him a valuable asset. She assures him that Jean, the leader, will welcome him. Kai agrees, and they all head to the headquarters in the old royal capital. The place was destroyed years ago, making it an unlikely spot for the demons to search. Jean's father suggested this location before retiring as the rebel leader 2 years ago due to an injury, and Jean took his place. They arrive at HQ, and Kai and Rin are brought to meet Jane. She has already received Ashran's reports and asks Kai about the alternate timeline he mentioned. Kai tells her everything he knows, but the other officials call him a liar for making such a bold claim. Kai then mentions how he was childhood friends with Jean in the previous timeline and how she always wanted to be like Og and Jur. These names catch Jean's attention, but she doesn't say anything and decides to end the meeting for the day. Later that night, Jean asks to meet with Kai. She seems more open to the possibility that Kai might be telling the truth, since very few people know she's a woman and the names Og and Jur were the nicknames of her father and grandfather. While she's not completely convinced, she acknowledges that Kei's combat skills and knowledge are valuable. Jean shares her plan to coordinate with other human cities to repel the demons invading Mio Vasel. However, Rin argues that this would only attract more demons over time, and if a high-ranking demon showed up, the plan would fail. Jean knows it's a risky plan, but can't think of a better way to protect the remaining human homes. That's when Kai suggests they target just one demon, Vanessa, the hero of the demons. Jean thinks it's crazy to attack someone as powerful as Vanessa, but Kai is confident the code holder can defeat her. He volunteers himself and Rin to challenge Vanessa, explaining that most demons are focused on fighting other races, so Vanessa won't have many forces with her. Kai asks Jean and her forces to hold off the rest of the demons while he fights Vanessa. Jean agrees, and they begin preparing to reclaim the Urza Federation. This wraps up the second episode of Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World? Recap. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.